Alright guys, we just hit 50 hours on my 2024 Husqvarna FE350s, and it's been an awesome first season getting to know this bike, seeing what it can do, understanding what I can do on it, and just having a lot of fun. I feel like I've got a pretty good handle on what I like, what I don't like, and what I think still needs to be tweaked or upgraded. So I figured it's a good time to give you guys my honest thoughts now that I've had some proper seat time. We'll talk about what I've changed, what I regret, what I love, and what's next for this bike. Now, I did do a whole bunch of things when I built this bike last winter. I added or changed a ton of the components, and of course, I uncorked it. So if you want to see the full in-depth bike build, you can check that out on my channel. It might make this review make a little more sense. We're gonna talk about how this bike's been as a whole, especially for someone like me coming from a KTM 500, but we will look at some of the specific components that I've added or changed on this bike. I've learned a lot after 50 hours of riding, so I'm excited to share that with you guys. So let's head to the first location and we'll get into it. All right, let's talk about the things that I've already changed. The first up is the handlebar wraps. Thought I could cheap out, bought some $30 ones, and they bent and broke right away. So I upgraded to these ones from Enduro Engineering, and they are super solid. I put them on about 45 hours ago, and I haven't tightened or touched them up since. I especially love these loop clamps, how the cables sit right on top of it, protects them. So just a brilliant design. I haven't bothered putting the flags on. I don't know, I don't think they really do much. I just like having the protection on there. The next thing I've changed, and not by choice, is the clutch cover. I dropped the bike right on a rock and it punched right through it. Ended up being about 3 weeks to order a new one, but it's only about $50 Canadian, so probably not a bad thing to have extra of just in case that happens. The last thing that I've upgraded since I did the bike build is the frame guards, and that was simply because I wanted black. I tried plasti dipping. The original ones that were blue lasted for about 30 minutes, and with the boots rubbing, it came right off. So ordered some black ones. They look great, they're holding up. You will see if you watch my bike build, I did paint or plasti dip a lot of the components that weren't black, just so everything matched. Happy to report that a lot of it is holding up. There's a few random things that have come off, but I'm not too fussed. I think the bike still looks great. And honestly, I kind of like the chip black paint on some of the bolts and stuff. In my opinion, it looks better than just stock silver. Okay, on to the next location. Okay, let's talk about things I don't like. Number one is the low seat. When I built this bike last winter, I put on the Husqvarna low seat, which is 20 mils shorter than stock. And while the height is really nice, it is so uncomfortable, like a million times more uncomfortable than the stock seat. So any sort of long distance riding, or just any ride that you end up sitting down, it just hurts your butt so much by the end of it. I should have just bought a Seat Concepts low seat. I've sat on them before. They're very comfortable, but what I do if I'm going on a longer trip, I just switch back to the stock seat. And if I'm doing longer distance riding, it's probably not that technical, so having that extra 20 mils closer to the ground isn't really that beneficial. Number two is also something I put on when I built the bike, and that is the Motaz Tractionator HT rear tire. This was a really expensive tire and looked like it was gonna last a really long time, but for me, the joy of this bike is to be able to treat it like an actual dirt bike, and that tire is not made for dirt biking. I think it'd be fine if you're just doing adventure riding, doing long days, long trips, and wanted something that you could put a lot of miles on, but Anytime I had it on the trails, it just wouldn't hook up where I needed it to. It kicked out a few times unexpectedly and threw me off the bike and just made everything a little more sketchy than it needed to be. I also wasn't really a huge fan of the tubeless system. I do think it's a brilliant design, but because that tire was so stiff, I would cheat and try to run it at like 4 PSI, which I think would make it not seal properly on the rim, and it would end up leaking out the air, and I would end up with a flat tire. Because it's so stiff, there's a few times where I didn't notice, and I ended up riding it for who knows how long flat, which eventually tore a bunch of holes along the tread, and even after I plugged 9 or 10 of them, I was still finding holes, so I just pulled it off. What I have now is a Shinko 525 cheater tire with a moose in it. This setup is so much better, gives me so much more confidence on the trail. It's fun, it's grippy, it hooks up where you need it to, and just lets you get away with a lot more. It is wearing fast, obviously, because it is a soft tire, and it does make me not want to ride the bike on the road because I'd rather use those miles on dirt. But it has been a great way to really get to see what this bike can do and what I can do on the bike, having a tire that I can trust. It's also so much more peace of mind with the moose in it. I'm never worried about air pressure or getting a flat or getting a puncture. I can just get on it and go. I did drill about 16 holes into the moose to soften up a bit. I still think I would like it a little softer, but for general trail riding, it has been amazing having this setup. So I highly recommend if you want to see what this thing can do. I think in the future, I'd like to try the tubeless with a half moose in it. So even if the tire goes flat, there's still a little bit of cushioning in there. But for now, this has been great. While we're on the subject of tires, my other gripe is the black rims. I love black rims. I think they look so good, but I just can't change a tire without scratching the hell out of them. And they scratch really easily. I did finally just buy a tire change stand, so hopefully that helps. But if you guys got any tips, let me know, because I'm just carving these things up every time I switch a tire. I did put a Shinko 216 MX on the front when I built this bike, and we're sitting at 50 hours now, and I'm just starting to rip lugs off the side. It's been a great front tire, no complaints. Holds traction nicely, doesn't wash out, and it's pretty smooth on the road, does what it needs to do. I'll probably try something else next season just so I have something new to compare to, but I would say that was a decent front tire for sure. All right, enough complaining. Let's talk about the stuff I do like. All right, let's talk about the things I like about this bike. The first is the height. Look at it compared to my 500. The seat heights are pretty similar. I do have the low seat on this one, and I did shave down the seat on the 500, but the handlebars on the 350s sit so much lower than the 500. This makes everything just feel a little more comfortable, a little less sketchy. On hill climbs, it's easier to get on top of the bars, hold that front end down. It's easier to move around, it's less intimidating. I'm 5'9", and with proper sag and the low seat, there aren't many times that I wish this bike was lower. Next up is the power. Now, I'm speaking to the uncorked version, but holy, it is perfect. It's smooth, predictable, not wild like the 500, but so much snappier, so it's right there when you need it. Still hauls when you're on a Forest Service road and want to open it up, but way more manageable in the slow techie stuff. Along with the usual uncorking, I also added a better fuel rail and a better exhaust manifold, which I think make it just that much more snappy and give you the power right when you need it. Now, I only rode this bike stock for about an hour before I did the full build, which included uncorking it, but I've ridden my buddy's stock 350s, and you can definitely tell the difference between their bikes and mine. It obviously costs a bit of money to do the full uncorking with the ECU, the exhaust and the airbox, but in my opinion, I think it's so worth it to get the most out of this motorcycle. I also love my handlebar setup. I bought this dash kit and switched out all the buttons that are on that clunky turn signal horn thing for these sleek black buttons. And I even added a kill switch for my headlight so that I can go stealth if I want to. Love having the separate start-stop buttons. Whoever designed the one that came stock on this bike needs to be shot. That thing is brutal. These buttons are so satisfying to press. Love having them separated. And I love just having a clean, simple dash. I obviously added the GoPro mount because I am using this bike to film a lot, and that just makes it really easy to do the reverse POV. And then I love having my phone center mounted. Oh my God, it is incredible. This took a bit of figuring out because of the clamp that comes. It covers the center part of the bar, but I switched it out with separate ones so I could run my quad lock right in the middle. And this is probably the biggest game changer when it comes to exploring. I love having my map open, seeing where roads go, not having to pull over, pull my phone out of my pocket at every intersection. So super happy about this. If you'd like to see a video on how I set this all up, let me know. Took a little bit of trial and error, but I think it is so worth it. I'm also really happy with all the protection that I put on this bike. The rad guards are solid. The disc guards have definitely saved me from buying new rotors, and even the swing arm guards I was a little skeptical on because they are just cheap plastic, but they've been taking a beating and they're holding up great. I also love this rear grab strap I got from Trailbound. I use it all the time, whether I'm dragging the bike around on a hill that I got stuck on, or just moving the bike around the garage. This thing makes it so much easier. Also love the tail rack. I've only used it a couple times, but it's such low profile, doesn't get in the way, doesn't get banged up when I drop it because it's smaller than the fender. And it makes it so easy to strap some extra fuel or gear if I'm going on a bigger trip. All right, so what's next for this bike? Well, number one on my list is a bigger fuel tank. I feel like every time I'm going out for a big day, I'm hitting the fuel light, and I just don't like having that added anxiety. I do have a fuel bag, but I'm not bringing it unless I know I'm gonna run out of fuel. So I would love to just have the added security of a few extra liters every time I go riding, so I'm not worried about that. Next on my list is a map switch. Now, when I got the ECU remapped, when I uncorked this bike, it came with two maps, an aggressive and a soft. Because I don't have a map switch, it's always in the aggressive mode, which is super fun. There's lots of power, but I find myself in situations where it's too much power. And I think having the ability to be able to switch to a softer map would make tackling some of the more technical sections a little easier, a little safer, and just more fun. Every time I go to buy one, they seem to be sold out. So I will probably pick up a 12-tooth front sprocket and switch it out with my 13 for some of those tighter, more technical days, just to see if that helps with the bike being geared a little lower. Right now my gearing is 1348, which is a really great do-it-all gearing, but as I progress my skills and want to progress what I can do on this bike, I'm realizing that I need to set it up for those more technical obstacles so I can tackle them safely without trying to manage a whole ton of power. Next up is a comfier seat. Now, as I talked about earlier, this Husqvarna low seat is so uncomfortable. And I would like to do some bigger days on the bike that get me into technical sections. So having a comfier seat that's lower than the stock seat not only would be helpful for technical riding, but also would just help me enjoy my day on the bike. And that's kind of what it's all about, is actually enjoying the machine that you're riding. So a comfier low seat, definitely on my list. The last thing I'm missing is some bags for this thing. Now I do have this really nice front bag, which is great to just throw a few things in, but I want to go camping, I want to do some multi-day trips. I don't want to wear that weight on my back, so I'd rather have it on the bike. Now, I don't want this thing looking like a GS just loaded up, but some low profile, compact bags that could carry some light camping gear, bit of food. That's what I'm after. I haven't done a ton of research yet, so if you've got some ideas for me, let me know in the comments what bags you think would work best for this bike. All in all, this bike doesn't need a lot. It does everything I want it to and more. I just want to be able to take it further, stay on it longer, and just have more fun on it. So that's my list of upgrades. Let me know if there's anything else you think I should be putting on this bike, but for right now, I'm really happy with how it's set up. But I think those 4 things will just make this bike absolutely perfect in the best machine that it can be. All right, so who is this bike really for? Well, if you're like me, you might have bought a 500 thinking you'd be doing these big epic missions every single weekend, when in reality, I only do that once or twice a year. The rest of the time, I'm riding after work or doing some weekend warrior stuff to a local riding area, or just exploring around my home. If you've ridden a 500, you'll know that that's a lot of bike whenever you get into a tight or a technical section. It is capable in those situations, but it's a lot of bike to manage, and it's honestly kind of scary in a lot of situations I'd find myself in. In my opinion, this is the best do-it-all dirt bike. You can still plate it, ride it on the road, load it up, go on a big mission, but where it really shines is when you just want to do some actual dirt biking. This thing is incredible for hill climbs, for technical sections, for jumping over logs. Everything is just so much easier and gives you so much confidence when you're riding. I feel like I've progressed so much as a rider just switching to the 350 and just having something that I feel a little more comfortable managing. The one thing I have found though is because I want to ride it like a dirt bike, I have it set up like a dirt bike. I don't have mirrors on it. I have really soft tires. So I'm less motivated to ride it on the road and do any sort of long adventures because it's set up for trail riding. So in a perfect world, I'd love to have 2 rear rims with different tire setups and different gearing so that I could quickly swap depending on what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. Honestly, for me, there isn't many times that I miss the 500. With this uncorked, it's got plenty of power when you want it to, and the rest of the time, it's way easier to manage for the type of riding that I like doing. The only problem is now I want a 2-stroke. So yeah, 50 hours in and I am loving this bike. It is such an incredible machine and gives you such confidence to learn and grow as a rider. I'll probably do another review at 100 hours, so let me know if there's anything I missed or didn't talk about that you're curious of, and I'll try to cover that when we get there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something. And if you're liking what you're seeing, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. I'm trying really hard to bring some high quality dirt bike content to YouTube. So every single subscription or thumbs up or comment really helps. And let me know what you'd like to see. I'm having a lot of fun doing this and want to make it as valuable to you as possible. So thanks again. We'll see you in the next one.